Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry. Today we're doing something slightly different. Now, I'm out in my Hindenburg, and yes, there will be a full review of this ship coming soon. But it's not about that. It's about, well, the map, really, at this point. So we are playing Epicenter on chain. And if you look at this map, you would think, well, it's a square, right? It's a square, it's got grids in it, and one team spawns on one side, one team spawns on the other side. That's not all of it, really. Actually, maps have what I would say 3 lanes. A map has a center lane, which goes from your team to the enemy team, and it has a left and right flank. Why is this important? Look at this map. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward through the battle, just so you can see, like, we're doing a quick fast forward, just so you can see where all the ships are moving. And then we'll rewind, and I'll talk a little bit about the whole thing with the lanes, and then we'll do it again, and we'll see if you can spot the pattern that I'm talking about. All right, so you've seen that we've won this rather comprehensively, but let's actually let's consider these let's consider this map and think a little bit about how these things work. So I'll actually go back to the all the way to the team screen, and then we get the setup. So it's a top tier battle. There's a carrier. We've got Montana, Yamato, Iowa, Stalingrad, Venezia, and 1 destroyer. So 1 destroyer on each team. Now, what is the positioning and purpose of ships on these maps? The destroyers obviously need to contest the center of it. There's an island smack dab in the middle. So that island is going to become important. Now, if you look at our destroyer, you will notice that we have a Yu Yang, which has deep water torpedoes. So the Yu Yang herself will have difficulty against gearing in some regard. So for me as a cruiser, I don't want to be playing in open water. I want to get into the rings. I don't want to get into the center ring, because I am playing a heavy cruiser here, and I will be shut down by these battleships very quickly. So where I want to be is I want to cover the left flank. And the reason I'm talking about the flanks here is because, well, these islands are providing you hard cover against enemy fire, but only if you have the island between yourself and the enemy that's firing at you. If we can get our team into a position where we're negating this effort, and then we have a very, very good chance of doing some severe damage to the enemy team. So I want to be as a precise, ranged heavy cruiser with a fast rate of fire. I want to be in a position to contest that island there in the middle, because Yu Yang is who's currently dodging the first carrier drop. Very well done. Yu Yang and actually Mino are pushing into the center. Now Mino can do this because the Mino is a destroyer. Don't let that cruiser icon there fool you. It's not. It's a destroyer. It's a big one, but it is. So, but I want to be, well, first of all, behind this island, so I can't be crossfired. And there's gearing. So gearing is my primary target. So I'm going to get some shots out at the gearing. It's probably going to miss, but I don't know, actually 5 hits onto the gearing. Nice. So we want to harass that gearing and get him out of the center cap. And at the same time, we don't want that Montana there to push up this flank here, because then that Montana can endanger things like our carrier and negate our own island defense. So we want to first order of business is we don't want to push any more further ahead We can't help with the gearing right now, but there's a Montana. Now I am in a Hindenburg, so I have a decent amount of torpedoes, and which means the Montana probably doesn't want to get into a close range fight with me. And I can hurt the Montana. The Montana is trying to hurt me back, because look at him turning. He's going to shoot me, so I'm going bow in, and keeping the island between myself and the rest, such that, and that did nothing, such that I cannot be crossfired. Now the Montana is tired of it. I'm just keeping a wary eye on the carrier to see if the carrier is going to start focusing me. But look at how our team is positioned. We are currently not holding anything, but we are controlling the flanks here. And now I'm starting to push forward because the Montana has backed off. And now look at the gearing. Now this is where it gets interesting. The Yang is almost dead there, but the gearing is now in trouble because he can't go forward, because then he gets under fire from our western flank, and he can't go backwards because I'm right here. So now the gearing, now we have the gearing in a pincer, and I have somewhat island cover. Montana could shoot at me, but I'm angled against Montana. Venezia is going behind the island, so he doesn't actually have angles at me. And the battleships over there are more are busy with something else. And Yu Yang is able to take out the gearing after we've worn him down. So we've just turned this around from a dead Yu Yang and a gearing controlling center, potentially torping things like the Mino, into a dead gearing. And they've lost the battleship as well. Now Montana is again shooting at me now, but it's too late, right? And also he's overshot, but it's too late because now I'm pushing further ahead. And look at the Venezia. The Venezia is disengaging from the battleships on the other side, trying to get behind the island. The problem is I'm in a Hindenburg. I have German 200mm armor piercing, so I can shred this Venezia to bits at this range. I'm just looking out for torpedoes, but I don't think he's even aware that I'm here. So he's trying to back off behind the island to get out of the battleship fire. But now look what's happening to the Venezia from here. Yes, that is happening to the Venezia from here. Now he's smoking up in a panic because that's the last thing he can do. But that's a fuel smoke, and also I can see him. I know where he is. So that is probably a dead Venezia. And the Stalingrad over there is dead as well, because our other flank with the two battleships there has pushed around. So we've controlled both flanks. There's the Venezia, so we're just going to kill him. So now they're 3 ships down, and their map control is completely gone. The Montana is backing off, and the other battleships are sitting outside behind the cap circle. And like I said, I'm shredding the Venezia to bits, and everybody else is doing the same thing. So there's really not much he can do, because they have opened up the flank, and because they have lost this flank. And now we're just pushing. But look at where we're positioning. Mino goes center, because Mino has excellent AA and a smoke. So he gave air cover to the Yu Yang. Plus, we did a pincer on the gearing, killed the gearing. We did the pincer on the Venezia, killed the Venezia. And the battleships have been backing off, and they've now lost all their cruiser support and destroyer support. So there's really not much left that they can do at this point because of the battle space that we've been controlling, right? So don't go rushing into the caps in the very beginning, unless you're a destroyer and you really should be contesting the center cap. But it's like most of the time, the team that controls the flanks in these kind of things can win. Now that doesn't mean that everybody has to go on the flank, especially not everybody on one flank. But know when to push it, know when to back off and defend it. But make sure that you understand how important it is that you can use these kind of covers effectively, and that you can get enemy positions into movements that allow your team to push forward. And it's just mopping up at this point. But this is not just true for epicenter maps. This is also true for other maps where, if you're looking at someone entrenched and in a position behind an island or next to an island where you can't really effectively hit them, and then you manage to get your team split up like this correctly, such that parts of your team are holding the flanks and a part of your team is holding the center, you can do a lot of damage to enemy teams with this kind of crossfire. Now again, this doesn't mean everybody has to go to the flank. In the opposite, you need to have a good distribution. So know your role, know your speed, know what you can and cannot be shot at by, and know your positioning and where you want to be and where you should be, and keep an eye on the minimap. And if you see your team lemming training, like everybody goes to one flank, it might be not a bad idea to just, you know, try and switch over to the other one, and that kind of stuff. So yep, that's all I have. And again, a Hindenburg review is coming in. So that's it for today. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye.